Hey guys, welcome back to Incognito. My name is Gautam and today we are going to learn about nested arrays in JavaScript. Let's get started. We know that arrays in JavaScript can have values of multiple data types. I can simply come here and declare an array, const example array, and give it an array value which has multiple values, one string value, one integer value, one boolean value, and I can also give it maybe a floating point value. So now this is an array which has values of multiple data types, and now JavaScript will not see any error over here. I can console.log the array, example array, and when I save it, I will see the exact same array in the console over here with the same values without any error. Now what if I want to have arrays as individual values inside the example array? That's also very simple to do. Let me just comment out these two lines first. Declare another array, const nested array, and give it an array value which has multiple arrays inside of it. So now I'm going to open another pair of square brackets, give this value of string 1, and then inside the same array I'm going to give another value of 10. Then I'm going to come outside the array and open another pair of square brackets and say true, and another floating point variable, I'll say not variable, value, and say 40.354. So here we can see that nested array is an array which consists of two arrays inside of it. So now what if I want to access each element inside the array? Okay, before we go there, let's see how we can access each individual array inside nested array. We know that each element inside one array is given an index value. That means this first array inside nested array is a single element, and therefore this array has an index value of 0. So let's try and access that using console.log nested array and pass in the value of 0 within square brackets. Let's save it and see what happens. We get string 1 comma 10, which is the first value inside nested array. If I want to access the second element, that is true and 40.354, I will come below that and say console.log nested array of 1, because this element has an index value of 1. Let's click save again. I get this array below the first array. Now we know how to access each individual array inside a nested array. Now we can look into how we can access each individual element inside the nested array. We can think of the nested array, this nested array, as a matrix. I can come down over here and say nested array, and then represent each array within this array as a row, string 1, and give few spaces over there, say 10. Then come to the next row, give another comment and say true, and say 40.354. So we can see that each row inside the nested array matrix represents each array within the nested array, within the main nested array. So now we can determine the position of each element inside the nested array matrix. So string 1, this element has a position of 1, 1. I'll just give a comment over there. String 1 has a position of 1, 1, because it is in the first row and in the first column. Similarly, 10 has a position of 1, 2. 10 has a position of 1, 2, because 10 is in the first row but the second column. And similarly, true has a position of 2, 1, and 40.354 has a position of 2, 2. So now we know how to access each individual element inside a matrix. But in an array, all positions for an element begin with the index value of 0. So if you think of this matrix as an array, string 1 has a position of 0, 0. 10 has a position of 0, 1. True has a position of 1, 0, and 40.354 has a position of 1, 1. So all we did here is reduce the position of each element by 1, because again index positions in an array begin with 0. So now, using this concept, let's try and access each individual element inside the nested array. I'm going to come over here and say console.log nested array, and I wanna access the string 1 string. So we can see that string 1 is in the first array, so I'm going to pass in 1 over here to access the first row, to access the first array inside the main array. And again I can not 1, sorry, 0. And then again I'm gonna see where string 1 is inside the first array of nested array. String 1 has an index value of 0, so again I'm gonna pass in 0 over here. Now when I save this, I should see string 1 on the console over here. I do get string 1 because I am accessing the position of 0, 0 in the nested array, and the position at 0 and the element at 0, 0 is string 1. Similarly, we can access all the other 3 elements inside the nested array by simply passing these coordinates to the nested array. I'm going to come here and say console.log nested array 0, 0, 1. Just copy paste this line as well a couple more times. Now I'm going to say 1, 0, and here I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to say 1, 1. So we know that this line will print string 1. Now this line is accessing the element in the 0th position and the first position inside the 0th position. So that means 0, 1 represents 10, as we can see over here. So that means this should print 10. Similarly, 1, 0 should print true, as we can see over here. This should print true. And 1, 1 should print 40.354, as we have derived over here. I'm just going to write 40.354. Let's hit save and see what happens. So indeed, the elements, the stuff which we were expecting has come to the screen, and this is how nested arrays work. I can still add singular elements to the nested array and access them regularly. So I'm going to come outside both the arrays and declare a singular element. Give it a string of Gautam. Let's then another number, say 4, and another boolean value. I'll give it a value of false this time. Now we can see that this string Gautam has an index value of 2, 4 has an index value of 3, and false has an index value of 4. Now we know how to access these elements in the array. I'm just going to come over here and say console.log, call the array and pass in the index value of the element I want to access. If I want to print Gautam, I will say 2. Then if I want to print the integer, which is 4, I'll pass nested array and pass in 3. And if I want to print the last element, the last value, I'll say nested array of 4. So this statement should print Gautam, this statement should print 4, and this statement should print false. Let's click save and see what happens. We do indeed get Gautam, 4, and false as expected. So now we know that along with giving individual arrays as elements inside a main array, we can still pass singular elements inside that same array, and JavaScript will read them as singular elements. So guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It will really help us out a lot, and thank you for watching.